Hi, Agenor. Thank you so much for joining us today, the Venti Venti Vision community. We're so excited to have you as our guest, and I've prepared a couple of questions to ask you.
All right.
I'd love to just kind of jump in.
Tell you enough how great it is to be here with you. I really admire your work, and I've known you for a couple of years now. And the Triple V, as I call it, it's a great initiative. I think the world, especially the Western world, needs it more than ever. Is to people to get around, positive things. We on a daily basis we are bombarded with negativity, and I think that being connected with positive things is it's just great. It's just amazing, and I feel humbled to be invited to be part of this, and I hope I can live up to your expectations and to the community expectations. So back to who I am. I am Brazilian. I was born and raised in Brazil. Moved to Canada in 2011. I was working for a great corporation, global corporation, and I got promoted and relocated to Canada. I never expected Canada to be what it is. What made me decide to stay after I left the company and become a Canadian. I'm a Canadian now. And my relationship with meditation goes way back. Before meditation for me was meditation. I've been dealing with contemplative practices for over 30 years. And I started formally practicing meditation at around 10 years ago. And one day I had a breakdown, mental breakdown, and I meditated in hopes to find a safe harbor, in hopes to find peace, where my mind would not, bring all that anxiety, all those negative feelings about the past, or the anxiety about the unknown future. And I said I remember as if it were yesterday, I said, I just want 30 seconds of peace. And I got it. And I got 30 seconds of peace, and it felt great. I didn't think about the past. I didn't think about the future. I was just there trying to hold to my peace. And 30 seconds became 1 minute. 1 minute became 2 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours. So it just grew so much in my life and helped me so much that I said, one day I want to be able to help people. I want to be able to bring this so that people can have this amazing experience. And we'll see, I said, I will continue with my journey, looking for a new job and see where it takes me. And then after a couple of years looking for a job and not getting, I said to myself, why don't you become a meditation teacher?
Yeah.
You have, you hit the bottom. You have nowhere to go. There's always the influence of ego telling you, no, you were a marketing executive. You have to live up to the society's expectations of what you are, what you can do, and etc. A meditation teacher is not up to your level of education or experience. And I trained myself to become a certified meditation teacher. That's one of the things I really made sure is that I am well trained in the practice, and I did it. And last year I started. It's been 1 year now. May. It's been 1 year since I started teaching meditation formally, and it's amazing the feedback of people, how people react to the experience. I receive messages on my. I have a channel on Insight Timer, and I received so many meaningful messages of how it helped people in different stages or in different situations. So in a short, this is a short version of a long story. I hope you got it.
Oh, I did. And I just want to say thank you so much for being real, authentic, vulnerable, and sharing with us, your journey to get you to being a meditation teacher. And it's very beautiful to see this. And also congratulations on hitting the 1 year mark. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
it's incredible. I never thought I would make it. It's difficult. There's so much barriers to the Western world to practice this, millennial practice of meditation, and but it's worth it. It's totally worth it.
I can wholeheartedly agree. I actually got introduced to it 14 years ago next month after a very terrible car accident. So I can definitely tell you it saved my whole life. So it's so wonderful to hear someone that's been doing it for much longer than me to hear about how much it's supported you. And it's so beautiful to hear how many hearts and minds and souls you're touching with other people that you're teaching on a daily basis. So that is very special to us.
Yeah,
but
you.
I have a few other questions for you too.
Sure.
I know that there are a few people who have never tried meditation before, and I'd love to hear from you. What are some of the simple ways that they can start incorporating it into their daily lives?
Absolutely. I think we're living in a time in the Western world, and every time I speak about anything, it's in the Western world, because meditation is so present in the Eastern world that we don't need to talk about that. So we're living in a time where mindfulness became mainstream. Okay, everybody's talking about mindfulness. Everybody's teaching about mindfulness. Everybody is practicing mindfulness, or at least reading about that. So, in a way, just to clarify, meditation and mindfulness, they are different things. Okay, so meditation, as in any contemplative science practice like qigong, tai chi, yoga, are ways to reach mindfulness. Mindfulness is a state of mind. Okay, so we're living in a time that those things that have been practiced in the Eastern world for over 3,000 years are coming to us in a much easier way. Okay, so you have books, you have podcasts, you have videos, you have everything. So it's accessible. All right, 10 years ago, it was not that accessible. You had to go to a retreat, you had to go to a monastery to learn about those things. So everywhere you go right now, it's there. The thing about, I think that there are a few things that people should consider about when thinking of meditation. First of all, each experience is individual. Okay, Buddha said, "Don't do because I said so. Go and try it." All right. So go and try it. 1 minute, 2 minutes, most. You are in the bathroom, doing your thing. 1 minute of breathing helps. All right. You don't have to, there's this misconception that you have to sit for 30 minutes or 1 hour or 5 hours in order to meditate. That's a total misconception. You can meditate formally from 1 minute up to, the time you can hold up to that. Or informally, you can meditate on a daily basis. Like if you're drinking coffee, you can meditate on the smell of coffee. If you're drinking tea, you can meditate on the smell of tea. Those are some of the practices that I teach, so that can open the mind to, can open people's mind into, oh, okay, that's something I can do. So the best way to meditate is to try to meditate. Okay? Yeah. Give yourself a chance. Sit down or don't sit down. Okay, here's the thing. you go to bed every night, okay? That's the one thing. You go to bed every night. So while you're in bed, your better half is way out or is still there, whatever. Give yourself 1 minute of breathing, okay? Just as you're laying down, prepping up to go to sleep, just 1 minute, just breathe. Slowly, gently, softly. Notice how your body reacts to the breath, and do that for 1 minute, okay? If you have any difficulty, finding out how your body reacts, just put your hand on your tummy and notice how your tummy rises and falls. Just 1 minute. And you've meditated. Okay, so that's one way. And you will notice that you become different. As I said, each and every one is different. So I usually tell my students and my clients, meditation is like going to the gym, but for the mind. Yeah. All right. You go to the gym, you do your Pilates class, you go spend 1 hour. Okay. So you feel great about yourself. You feel all pumped up, muscles, toned, abs, butt, whatever. And you've done it. Meditation is for the mind. We need to have stronger minds and not so susceptible minds. So that's what I have to say.
I could not agree anymore with that. And I think what a lot of people in the community have been asking us is, what are some of the benefits that people receive from a daily meditation practice? And how can meditating, specifically now during the pandemic, really help people relieve stress, anxiety, and depression feeling as a result of what's happening?
Yeah, some of the conditions like depression, anxiety, meditation helps in conjunction with medical assistance. Okay, so if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling anxious, if you're not okay mentally speaking, go and look for a doctor. Okay, I don't like advising people to try meditation first without a guidance if you're in that situation. Okay, so some people they go to apps and to listen to a guided meditation. In a situation like that, I don't advise people to do that. Okay, go to your doctor. I do work with people with pain. Okay, so it's not that I don't work with a physiotherapist. I do work with a physiotherapist. Okay, I just help alleviate the pain using meditation. All right. So it doesn't mean that it does definitely not mean that you're going to be cured if you are doing meditation. All right. So so if you're in a situation that is a chronic situation, depression, anxiety, pain, or whatever, go look for a doctor. All right. Meditation will help you cope with those situations alongside with medication or whatever. Okay. I used to take a lot of, I took depression medication for many, many years. So I did meditation in side by side with that medication. And the symptoms were more manageable, let's call it. Okay. But never stopped taking the medication until late last year, which I stopped completely. And I've been 6 months without depression medication. So it's not just I would not dare say that it's just a meditation, but meditation helped me know myself better. All right. So I know the triggers, and being mindful about the triggers help me avoid those triggers. All right. So if I let myself go, I will absolutely return to be a depressive person.
Yeah.
Right. So meditation helped me know myself better, understand what the triggers are, and avoid those triggers. Avoid those triggers. Oh, but you're not going to face those triggers face to face. No, I'm not. I tell you, I'm not gonna face those triggers face to face. All right. I know where I can go and I know where I cannot go. It's just like there's a Buddhist saying that if you have control, just go and do it. If you don't have, don't do it. All right. So basically, so as I said, meditation brings each one different experiences. All right. But the first one, the meditation, there are three different types of meditation. Let me start with that. Okay.
Please.
The first type of meditation is to stress control. All right. So it deals with the causes of stress. All right. Stress is a consequence. All right. Stress is not a condition. You become stressed because of some things. Right. Okay. So it might be, problems with your life. It might be conflicts. It might be addiction. It might be, there are a lot of situations where gets you into that state of stress. When stress becomes chronic, there are physical consequences to your body and to yourself. Like you become diabetic, you become, you have heart disease, okay, you don't sleep, you have insomnia. So there are consequences to stress. Meditation comes to eliminate the sensation of stress and avoid that you have those consequences into your life. Okay, so that's the first application, let's call it, of meditation. The second application is emotional resilience. Okay, you become more resilient emotionally. Okay, why? Because as animals, we live in community, we live in society. All right, so if you don't have emotional resilience, you will have difficulties living in community. One example is if you are always rageful about something, right? Once you start talking to somebody, you become enraged, all right? You become against something. So there are four applications into this kind of application, into emotional resilience. One is you become more compassionate, all right? So meditation helps you become more compassionate because the second is loving kindness. You become more of a kind person or more of a lovable person. Joy of others. You start appreciating the joy in other people. Okay, and the fourth one, which I think is the most important, is equanimity. Is that you become open to, how can I say, you become more open to other people, no matter what you feel towards the other people. Okay, so if there's somebody you don't like because you have differences, let's call it. Okay, by being equanimous, you are capable of feeling love for that person or feeling compassion towards that person. Okay, so that's the emotional resilience part of meditation. And the last part of meditation is about wisdom. Okay, is about becoming more knowledgeable about yourself and the world around you. Okay, that's what we call the insight meditation or vipassana. Okay, so the vipassana meditation allows you to reach a state of mind where there is no bias. Okay, you are totally unbiased. There is no preconception towards what's going on, whatever you're thinking about, or whatever you brought into that meditation. Okay, there are two ways to do that. First, you bring something to the meditation, like, oh, I'm having problems with my girlfriend, for instance. Why is that? Okay, so you eliminate all the biased variables and you think about that with a clear mind and open heart. Okay, So you come to your own conclusions and you work on it. But those are clear and pure conclusions. All right. And the other type is that you just sit yourself down and wait for things to come to you. And you look at those things with an unbiased mind and you start dealing with those things while you're seated. So this is the third part, is the wisdom. So it has a broad spectrum of application, and I practice all three, and I teach all three. And people have different reactions. Some people are thankful, other people are not so much thankful, because it brings them. Once you start avoiding, avoidance is one of the things that impedes you to be wise. Okay, avoidance. So once you start stopping being avoidant, if that's a word, things will come to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you will be bombarded by thoughts and sensations and feelings that you avoided before. So you have to know how to deal with that. So that's why a guided practice is important, because it helps you get there without too much pain, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I spoke too much.
No, not at all. It's actually it's really good. And I think you might have touched a little bit on this, but I'm really curious to understand, like, what are some of the things that people can start noticing if they start implementing meditation into their daily practice?
Yeah.
Like, what are some of the feedback that you're receiving?
Sure, and you mentioned also the current situation of the COVID and quarantine, and one of the meditations I really recommend to people, two meditations I really recommend to people during this period is one is on joy. Okay, the joy meditation helps you find beauty in the small things, very tiny little things. Okay, so it might be a flower that's blooming, or it might be a children finally running out on the streets, and you open your heart to those things without any preconception or any discrimination. Okay, we in the Western world we live under this filter of discrimination. I should not feel this. I should not do that. So once you meditate on joy, you start enjoying really what's going on around you, in your house, around you. And the one thing I tell people is that when you bring joy to your meditation, you become really thankful for being alive, you know, that you've accomplished so much during the day, and that you have so much to accomplish moving forward. But you have to be open-hearted to be able to see it and accept it. Okay.
So true.
So it's about joy. The second type of meditation is the walking meditation that I prescribe to people. Is that now that we can go out, there's keeping a safe distance. Okay. When you go into a park or around the block, start noticing things. I tell people it's like when you have a magnifying glass, all right, with yourself all the time, and when you step on the sidewalk or on the park or anything, just notice how your foot touched the ground. All the touching points of the foot on the ground, and then the other one, and then the other one. You start with that by noticing as many touching points as possible, from the arch, from the heel, the balls, the toes. There are so many you can feel about it, So that's a walking meditation. And then you start expanding, you have your awareness, as we call, into your foot, your feet are walking and you're noticing all the touching points. And now let's expand that field of awareness into your body. What are your knees telling you, your heels, your knees, your legs, your hips, your whole body. Once you have your whole body into your field of awareness, expand it to the nature, expand to outwards. What can you see? What can you notice? What kind of information can you bring into your field of awareness? So what it brings to you, this experience, is it brings to you such a connection that you are, first of all, you are one. Your body, your mind, your breath, you are one, connected with the environment around you. So you are part of something. So it brings people the sense of belonging, which I think that is much needed right now, is the sense of belonging. So I think those two meditations, the joy, which opens your heart and makes you appreciate the little things that you can see, and also appreciate others, your neighbor that just made it, people in the streets, so many people dying, I think bringing compassion and love towards those who they left behind is so important right now. And also during the walking meditation helps you connect with nature, with the world that you live in.
That was beautiful. It seems to me also that people would experience more gratitude when they open themselves up to feeling joy and doing the walking meditation. So, I mean, I honestly believe that meditation saved my life, and it sounds like it did so much for you as well. So, yeah, if there's anything else that you'd like to leave us with, we would love to hear it, because I can see how passionate you are when you speak about it, and
Yeah,
it's really beautiful, because I know that you take that into your teachings.
I do. The thing about opening your heart, it's about not being shameful about your feelings.
Yes.
When I started teaching, I was very technical. When you're hard teaching, you read the script, you're technical, you know what each line of your script, of your cues, will do to that person, or at least you hope. And one day I thought I should give more of myself during my classes. What does that mean? Coming from a corporate world, 30 something years in the corporate world, you are not allowed to be yourself. Okay. There are a lot of personas that you have to incorporate. And when I saw people crying in the workplace, but they go to the bathroom to cry because they don't feel safe to cry in front of others. The corporate world was not a safe place for you to express yourself. So I was raised believing that I should not open myself up to others. So the practice of meditation, and especially loving kindness, compassion, and everything, connects you to yourself. One of the hardest practices for me was self-compassion. Okay, so I was raised and trained to be a strong man. I don't suffer. Okay, suffering is for sissies. Okay, so I started looking inside myself and understanding that, yeah, I'm a human being. I can suffer, and then I'm allowed to. So you allow yourself to be yourself with meditation. Okay, so and now I become more a humanized practice towards others, with my students, with my clients, and we have this human relationship. You become more human, definitely, with the practice of meditation.
I totally agree. And it's always been a dream of mine to figure out some way to either start an alternative school where we implement meditation every day with children, or get it implemented in schools right now. Because I think if we start doing this with kids from the get-go, I think honestly we could literally shift the entire world and raise consciousness and really teach and focus on the collective as opposed to the individual and all the competition that's out there. So
Yeah.
it is really beautiful that you are bold and brave and vulnerable to share with
Yeah.
us your story.
Let me tell you just that vulnerability is not weakness. It's
It's
not
not.
being weak.
I
Okay.
agree.
People confuse. There is a misconception about being vulnerable and being weak. All
Yes.
right. That I will be played around. Because I'm vulnerable, I will not be played around.
That's right. You're strong. You have
I'm
courage.
I know what I want because I know myself. Okay. And the second thing I want to tell you, one of the biggest misconceptions about meditation is the relationship with Buddhism, and that misconception that it is a religion.
Mm-hmm.
So I've read so much parents removing kids from meditation classes because they say it's a religion practice. It is not.
Not.
Okay. It is not. Okay. It's a practice just like playing soccer.
Yep.
It's a practice just like any other practice. All right. It has nothing to do with being a Buddhist, or it has nothing to do with being a religion. I have a Buddha images here, but I also in my house I have Catholic images. Okay, I have Catholic saints around my house. It's not about. I take Buddhism as a philosophy, not as a religion. So I it is one of my missions and my main those two goals are, first of all, meditation does not turn you into a weak person. Okay. Soft, unfocused. No, nothing like that. Okay. And the second, it has nothing to do with religion, and it should be practiced with kids at 4 years old, 6 years old, 8 years old, and so they will become better people.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I
That
think
was
so.
so beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're
It's so
welcome.
meaningful and impactful, and I'm so excited to share this with the community members. So
I hope I was able to shed a light on anything. And yeah, just do it. You know, man. It's while watching Netflix, just take 1 minute. Oh, I'm going to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. Sit on the toilet. Breathe for 1 minute. Notice how you feel, and return to your movie. And that's it.